All right, everyone, now let's go over installing the VM, starting with the laptop requirements, or you might have a desktop in this case. In class, it'd be a laptop in a live class. So you need a current version of VMware Workstation, Workstation Player, or Fusion. Now, Workstation Player is free, and Workstation 15 and Fusion both have actual trial licenses for 30 days. You want to try those. USB port and exFAT support. CPU 2 gigs or higher. You need to have virtualization enabled in the BIOS. Now, usually it's there, but it may not be turned on by default. I can tell you with the most recent Lenovo laptop I bought, it was there, but you had to turn it on, and that requires access to the BIOS. So if your company's locked that down, you may need to get access from IT. 4 gigs of RAM, the more the merrier. 8 gigs is much better, and it'll run with 4 gigs, but 8 gigs is certainly superior. And full admin rights to the host operating system. There's no malware in the VM, but sometimes your endpoint protection suite will see some attack tools inside the VM and not like them and try to shut them down. You don't want that, or kill network connections. Now I'm going to walk through this on a Mac shortly, but just unzip the, you have a USB in your hands, and copy the zip file to the desktop and then uncompress it. And once you do, you have 2 files in there, and just double click on the .vmx file. It'll look like that logo or similar. The Mac looks a little bit different, as I'll show you. When I ask move or copied, say copied. Not a big deal in this case because you're at home. Just if you say move, the MAC address stays the same. If you say copy, it changes. This won't matter unless you happen to end up on the same network as someone else with the same VM, which is pretty unlikely. Then you want to log in as username student, which is the default, and password security542 with a capital S. So let's walk through that. This is on a Mac now, so your Windows will look a bit different if you're on Windows. So I have the VM here. And on a Mac, if you double click, it'll start uncompressing. On a Windows system, it'll actually show you the files, but not uncompress them. So you have to actually hit extract. And it'll take a few moments now to extract. So we'll let that go. And now the file is uncompressed. So click on the folder, and you have 2 files. Just click on that VMX file, .vmx. And I recommend not upgrading anything during course. That goes to VM itself and software inside the VM. Once course is over, you can do whatever you want, upgrade all the tools if you want, but upgrades can affect labs. We've seen that happen. So while you're in course, in class, I would not upgrade anything. Afterwards, feel free to do so. And as I said previously, you want to say copied here. That's a safer option. Not a big deal in our case, but it is safer. And it'll start up. All right, now we're actually running. So I'm going to full screen this. And as I said previously, the username is already filled in. You want security542, capital S, as the password. And the VM will log in and share the desktop. All right. Here we go. And the first thing I would do is open up Firefox. So I'm going to show you the wiki now, do a little preview of the wiki, which is, we also added brand new to the course. Again, a lot of updates in this version of the course, so I'm very excited you're seeing this. So click the Firefox icon in the upper left corner here. Notice we Burp Suite Professional installed. We'll talk about that later. And it jumps right to the wiki. Now notice this little warning here. You have not run the Labs Wiki Update script yet. It says down here how to run that. And by the way, there's a little button over here. See, copy to clipboard. You can actually, all our labs feature that. Another innovation we brought in to 542 and SANS. So if you hit that button, that command is now copied to the keyboard, clipboard, as the prompt there says. So the Wiki Update script is another, improvement to quality we brought into courses. If we find a typo, even after we send the books out, etc., we can still fix the wiki. We can still update the wiki. We can also add bonus content to the wiki, make improvements. Not just typos, like maybe we decide a screenshot should be a higher resolution, things like that. Now, all the content in the wiki is in your printed workbook. However, I strongly recommend you use the wiki for the labs. The printed workbook is there primarily for GIAC purposes. If you're taking the GWAP, which is the GIAC cert associated with this class, the workbook's there so you can walk that thing into the testing center because you can't walk the wiki in. And I strongly encourage you to use the wiki for labs. I've seen it live in class. Students who use the wiki make less mistakes and they're just happier hackers. Students who try to follow the workbook often make mistakes. And in class, of course, live class, if someone's hand goes up because there's a typo in the command that is typed, it will always help them. I call that firefighting. Firefighting is when a student's stuck and they need help. We'll always firefight. I'll firefight all the time. But if there's a lot of firefighting, there's less learning, because it's just mechanical stuff. So you don't have to copy paste. If you want to type it yourself, that's fine. But the wiki is designed for class. If this class didn't have a GX cert, we wouldn't have a printed workbook. We don't need it. The workbook's there solely for GX purposes. So I encourage you to use the wiki. And this reminder is here because I've noticed live in class, on day 1, I'll get everyone to run this command. By day 4, somehow someone hasn't run the command. Meaning maybe they ended up in a new VM, maybe they brought a different laptop in that day and reinstalled. So the reminder is there to tell you to do this. So open a terminal, right there, upper left. Copy the command, I know I already have, but just to show you again. Go here, and now to paste it's Shift-Control-V. Shift, not just Control-V, and a terminal now. Shift-Control-V, there's the command. Same password to use login, sudo as superuser_do. Run this thing as superuser or root. You need to run this command as root. Security 542. And you see there's been some fixes. And you can run this command as many times as you want. In fact, when we're done, I'll run it again to show you that it's harmless to run it as many times as you want. So we made some fixes. And there we go there. And now when you refresh, now I'm just gonna hit refresh without touching the shift key. All right, it did refresh. As a pro tip, if you hit shift refresh, that'll force a network refresh. If you just hit refresh, sometimes it'll serve off cache and you won't see the update. In this case, it did a network update, that's fine. And now that little warning banner is gone, meaning we're now in the current version of the wiki, or we've run the update script at least once. That banner will be there until you run the update script once, okay? So do that and now you're ready to go. And notice this is the brand new wiki. Now, we brought wikis into SANS, well, John Strand brought the wiki into SANS years ago in his offensive countermeasures course. And Security 511, which I'm also co-author of, along with Seth Meisner, we're also co-authors of this course. We copied John's idea with his permission and brought the wiki in, and then we made a series of continual improvements to it, all in the goal of improving quality. And so, copy paste buttons we've added. We've improved the theme. We actually upgraded the wiki software to something called MKDocs. All the labs are lined up. Here are the day 1 labs. You see we have 6 labs plus bonus. So 7 total, 8 if you count installing the VM. We don't really call that a lab. So we're not covering lab 1 yet. We'll do that in a section very soon. But just to show you how it works, I'll jump to lab 1. And you've got challenges, you've got solutions. You can go the no hints challenge, and just if you're a more advanced student with more experience, use dig against that, and you can just go no hints and just try it out. Like flip through the lecture, look at the previous lecture commands, or rely on your own experience. Try that. Or if you want to look at the solution, you can actually see the whole solution. And this is true for all week long. Virtual host discovery, all the labs are lined up throughout the week. So we're very excited about the wiki. It allows us to actually write more advanced labs. It allows us to write longer syntax and more complex syntax. Like there's a lab coming up later on where we want you to type like a backtick. A backtick is not, it looks like a single quote, but it's not. On a US keyboard, it's on the same key as the tilde, below the escape key. And to have in a paper book, you type a command that's 3 lines long word wrap with backticks and single quotes and double quotes. That'd be very challenging. But on a wiki, we can do it. We can do it. So once you're here and go back to home and that banner's gone, you're now already, you're all set with the VM, ready to take on Lab 1. I'll talk to you shortly about Lab 1. Thank you.